Well, Gareth Jones said to me this week he's getting his best players on the field. Ben Priddy, he's at hooker. Hooker being Gareth Evans' normal position, that's where he plays for Plymouth Albion. But he wants his best players on the field, and Gareth Evans slots in at number 8. But it's the first opportunity for points here.
Yeah, here we see much better initial shove from the Navy. They've sorted it out quickly, but it's such an area of competition. But taking the comparison to a varsity match, Johnny, kickers are so important. You've got to take points when they are on offer. You've got to use your opportunities. Really important chance here to get off to the best possible start.
Stay Pascoe. Scored some points in this fixtures down the years. And he's got the opening points in the 2011 Rugby and Navy game. Dave Pascoe, Navy captain, 3-0.
Well, there was no Welford Road or Tobin Park silence there. Plenty of boos coming in from what I would imagine are the Army support here, but Pascoe answered in the best possible way, slotting it, and you can see what it means to the fans.
I've never seen so many coaches here at Twickenham. Just a huge amount of support this year, over 60,000 sold before the day. We'll get a final figure on how many people have turned up here today later on in the day, but quite an atmosphere. Big Joe Carver. Couldn't take the high ball. Nakamavutu, strong player outside centre for the Army. Here's Jack Prasad, he's got a little run himself. It's the Navy who return. Andy Vance. That's a good line break from Andy Vance. Came an officer not so long ago. So asked if his name was pronounced Vance or Vance. Gareth Jones said maybe Vance, now he's an officer, but...
Well, they say about it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And there you had the right winger, John Marlin, just getting up into the air, competing with Joe Cava. And what a counter-attack here, but great cover tackle, just as the pass is about to be given by Andy Vance.
Touch, pause, engage. Pull apart.
And of course, these players know each other so well from the combined services, from the inter-services matches as well. The coaches, of course, know these players well. So it really is like a game of chess, trying to eke out where the little gaps are.
Matty Stewart, 34 caps for Scotland, of course, the assistant coach for the Army, knows all about scrummaging. He's at Northampton, wasn't he, with Chris Budgeon for 6 seasons. Almost 100 appearances in the Premiership, an experienced campaigner to have any coaching ranks for the Army. Gareth Ashton-Jones is an experienced man, former referee, of course, for the Navy. His last fixture in charge of Navy Rugby.
Away tackle at 8.
Plenty of hunger from the Navy, isn't there, at the breakdown? Nakamavutu just opened up for him. Llewellyn just covers across. Just not clicking for the Army just yet.
Yeah, looking very dangerous, but it's just that final pass, the half pass. If it comes off, then all of a sudden you see the Navy slightly shot out of the defensive line. But their scramble defence has been excellent so far, really competing both in the tackle and at the breakdown, just looking for that inside pass.
Vasily Nakamavutu. He's had his injury problems down the years. He's back fit to start. Vital cog in the Army armoury. Dale Sleeman. Barden. Passes flat at very best. Intercept. Nakamavutu. Read that very well. Aposatala sees the space as well. Prasad. Seru, he's got real pace. And he advances back there, though. We just saw a glimpse, didn't we? Just a glimpse.
Well, they're threatening, but the Navy playing it right on the gain line. Ooh, in slow motion it looks a tad forward, but in real time, look lateral. A lovely little offload there as well. A close quarter play. But then this ball was picked off. And on the counter-attack, they look so dangerous, the Army.
Great take from Marsh Cormack. Started the last 4 Army and Navy games. Wayne John, man known as Cowboy for obvious reasons.
Push back.
Pascoe. There's John again. On the wraparound, lovely hands from the fly half. Little show as well. Flick the ball up to Llewellyn. On his way here, he's got a man inside. This is going to be the first try, and it's for the Navy, and it's Callum McRae who's gone underneath the post. The bouncing ball just stopped the Army defence momentarily. Marsh Cormack started it all, though.
Well, it comes from doing the basics well. On the restart, they reclaimed the ball, and it's the first time they've really managed to get it fully across the back line, playing in the wide channels. Plenty of ambition here. Lovely pickup. Goes between 2 players. It's all about the offload. Doesn't quite go to hand the first time, but the awareness and the look at all the blue players. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plenty of support there. The first time they've had a proper attack, and they've managed to convert it. It's about taking your chances on the big stage at Twickenham. And the Navy, well, what a statement from them.
Great work from John Marlin on the right wing. Great work from Dave Pascoe. Adds simple 2 points. 10 points to lead now.
Well, plenty of ambition, plenty of skill, and plenty of composure. Knew he had to keep the ball alive there. Good composure from John Marlin, and excellent support play.
Bounces back off an Army hand. Kerry Cummings.
Move! Move!
Comes up from fullback, the man who took the restart. Apo Satala wants to get this Army side back on the front foot here. Rather shell-shocked, the men in red. And they are coming back. Dwyer has to go down. Just knocked it on as he went down to secure the ball.
The Army just creating a bit of an overlap on the outside, but quite flat, so that pass, which cut out a couple of players, just allowed the Navy defence to cover.
Okay, guys.
And again, it's just good scramble defence, although the first tackle's missed, taking out 2 players. It's the offloading game. If that goes to hand, it's dangerous for the Navy, but they're living on their wits.
Pull away.
Pascoe thought the referee had blown for a crooked feed. Just wants to have a word with the 2 front rows here.
One of the big aspects as well about the Navy's victory last year, completely changes the mindset. All of a sudden, having lost this game for almost a decade, they've got the self-belief. They know they can win this game. They know they need to play right through to 80 minutes, but they know that potentially they have the beating of this Army side.
Pascoe, good footballer. Marlin chases. He's been full of fight, hasn't he? That was challenged for in the air. Nothing in that. But John Marlin was hit hard.
Well, it was a magnificent box kick. It was as good as it gets. Hung in the air, perfect distance, perfect height. And Marlin, well, we've already seen him. And it's, well, it's no wonder that we're seeing enormous bravery here. Marlin, he never took his eye off the ball, but took a very, very big tumble when he hit the ground.
Karen Ashton-Jones watches on. He will be very happy, won't he? With a 10-point lead. Did see him earlier on. He's been whining and dying with the RFU president. Had to nip down to get a few instructions onto his team and then nip back up for dessert back in the box. Very nice guy, Karen Ashton-Jones. Sad loss to the Navy, him leaving.
Well, Callum McRae, plenty of experience, comes from the borders. Gala RFC is where he honed his skills. Here we see a lovely wraparound. McRae just running the dummy line. And when Johnny got that ball away. And Marlon, well, you hope that he is fit to continue. If he had to leave, he's already made a big impression in this game. But you just hope that he recovers to take his place in this right wing. He's had a big impact in the game so far.
The man they called Tuna. He played for the combined services before he played for the Navy. Just one Navy cap against the RAF earlier this season.
Well, that is, you know, despite what has happened in terms of hitting the ground, that is a great example of how to compete for a high ball. Doesn't take his eyes off it, turns his body, so even if it does spill, it's going to spill backwards. Perfect technique.
I was going to say textbook stuff from the right winger. Evans, the Pasco. That scrum is under pressure, but the 8-9 combination working well enough so far for the Navy. There's a knock-on in midfield. An Army scrum. Lovely position to have a scrum as well. Middle of the park with two absolute speed merchants out wide.
Well, they're stacking the open side and leaving the blind side here. Vakatini on his own, you wonder. Kerry Cummings looking ominous as well at fullback.
Big Joe Carver. Barden gets in there and then gets thumped to the ground.
Guards, move back.
You expect that every time you get the ball. You have to expect being thumped to ground. But it's the Navy breakaway again through Laird. Evans. Pretty. Great offloading game from the Navy so far. They're seeing space and they're playing into it. Pasco now. Mason floats the pass out. So the assistant referee has come in here.
Away, please.
We're watching that Navy attack down the touchline.
Slowing the ball down, playing on the ground.
There are going to be a few pounds shed this afternoon. He's struggling to keep up, and I think the Navy got away with that. I think there's a slight forward pass there. But again, so dangerous on the counter-attack, looking for each other in support.
Forward pass or not, they have the penalty, and look at that. Andy Vance going for the corner.
Yeah, did really well. Little bit of a show, kept the ball, and then got it away.
Respect that space.
Now, what's a touch, Judge? Let's see. What's his acceleration like?
It's good, let's go.
To be fair, he's not done too badly there.
Guys, there was a big enough gap, eh?
It's a sad day you're having a go at the officials, Tyrone.
Timing hit, you're going beyond the mark. Hold.
From the penalty, Navy had the line out, and now it's an Army scrum. Opportunity lost. We'd say that was a kickable penalty. The Army will come back. I'm pretty certain in saying that. And the two front rows just beginning to start something here. Chris Budgeon is in there. Dwyer, Mason and Pretty. Chris Budgeon is playing military police.
Move away. Move away.
Had to happen, didn't it? Always does.
Well,
I was obviously going to play. I noticed something in the corner eye, scuffle. What have you got for me?
All three of these front rows stood up, just pushing and shoving.
I thought the assistant referee was going to get involved.
Just handbags. Just a word with all three of each front row. Well, I need a decision because we're not going to go back to scrum. Who started that? Red. Red started. Captains.
Yeah, just handbags, nothing more.
I said it before the game, there's going to be structure in this game. I haven't got time for that, okay? At the end of the scrum, calm your front rows down. It's a penalty against you. Your team. No.
It's a penalty against the Navy.
Well, I think it was George Orwell said that rugby is war without the shooting. You can certainly see it means a lot to these players. And when you get onto the hallowed turf here at Twickenham, and those front rows, well, they've been having a bit of a dust-up in the scrum so far this afternoon. Just maybe a little bit of frustration boiling over.
It goes without saying it means so much to the 44 players here at Twickenham this afternoon, but all their battalions, their squadrons, guys who are volunteering to fill in the roles that these guys have left in operational duty just so they can come here and play for their service. Big sacrifices made not only by everyone involved here as Barden goes through off the line out. McLaren takes it on there, Pascoe, Wayne Johnnis, a lot of space out there. McRae, Marlin is back on his feet.
He just got stuck in the middle there. There was space and men out wide.
Sleeman, Vance, there's Llewellyn. The Army can't seem to get any rhythm back to their game, get possession. More territory. The Navy have come out here meaning business.
I think the Army are relieved to get that ball into touch, and we saw the open side, Greg Barden's pace, taking advantage of this missed line out. Barden, he snaffled it, really good pace. And again, it's just about keeping the ball alive, and once they spread it across the back line, plenty of opportunity had they managed to keep the ball.
Dwyer tries to pick up the loose ball. Big Joe Carver's there. Just to tidy things up. He's a man mounted at 8, isn't he? Big Joe Carver. Prasad. Kerry Cummings. If you take your headphones off, you can hear Kerry Cummings from up here in the commentary box. Good communicator from fullback, that's what you need. Boladi, the number 6, known as Bolla. We'll refer to him as that from now on. Prasad just bringing his forwards in. The big runners trying to suck in the Navy. Gareth Slade-Jones, last played in this fixture back in 2008, brought back in experienced campaigner, the Welsh scrum half.
Well, the powerful, physical ball carriers here in evidence. You saw Cava, you saw Bolla. They definitely have the edge, maybe physically, but it's slightly lighter, slightly more dynamic, a little bit more guile to this Navy side, Navy attack, keeping the ball alive.
And that was very much the feature last year. Very quick off the ground, very quick on the ground, the Navy.
Well, problems with the lineouts for both sides.
Threw it straight to his man, not down the middle.
It's the third successive lineout that's had to be stopped.
And it's an issue for Ben Priddy.
Just throwing it straight to his man. Referee pointing out, didn't go straight.
Engage.
I think the Gareth Evans at number 8 plays hooker for Plymouth Albion in the Championship. Maybe an option.
Sorry, guys.
But the Army certainly have the upper hand in the scrum.
But you think that the Army, they have to take 3 points here. It has really only been sporadic attacks that they've been able to launch, mostly in counter-attack into this Navy half. Just really need 3 points just to stem all this dynamism, all the momentum that the Army have created. And it's been quite a shock because the Army, I mean, the bragging rights are on the line here. Proud record over this last decade, but the Navy shocked them last year, and you would have expected the Army to have come out in this first quarter and really to have taken the game to the British Navy, or the Royal Navy, but it's not been like that at all. The Royal Navy really been on top in this opening quarter.
Fair few replica shirts sold here at Twickenham. A couple of pints sold as well around the ground, you would have thought, during the afternoon. Big day for all the bars here at Twickenham. Big day for Kerry Cummings and his right boot. Off the post, it bounces back. Greg Barden is there. It's almost Leinster Toulouse from the Heineken Cup semi-final, that wasn't it, from last year. If you wanted anyone to catch that bouncing ball, it would have been Greg Barden. Gareth Evans comes away. And the Navy are just getting past that first defender at the moment. The front-up tackling from the Army, not good at the moment. Apo Satala looking to rectify that. He's wrapped up by Stuart McLaren, amongst others. Lewis, the captain. Slade Jones. Carver again. He does get past the first defender. That was Mark Roberts. There was a hand in there from the Navy. Or was it a boot?
Captain. Captain.
It's not the most sensible of
play that ball on the ground.
actions.
Take a relay. Away you go.
Well, you thought there that the referee looked as if he was tempted to go to his pocket there, right in the halfway line.
This is that.
And certainly from that last kick, it didn't look as if Cummings has this distance, but going to take a kick to the corner.
Kerry Cummings going for touch. He finds that.
Well, unlike Toulouse in Dublin last week, the post didn't favour them. And is it a boot here? Yeah, you can just see it. And a little stamp for his trouble, and he deserves it. Here we see the kick, and watch the Army 14, Ben Seru. If that ball bounces up for him, he is under the posts.
Too late, lads.
Line out, working well. Boller is through, smashing his way to the line. Boller, now numbers on this left-hand side for the Army. They're screaming for it.
They're walking in if they get it.
Slade Jones didn't see it. The forwards took it on themselves. Has the opportunity gone for now? It has. It's a penalty to the Royal Navy.
Oh, that's a massive chance gone. You see the forwards all out there. How did that ball not come out? And then there was an overlap on the far side as well.
The Navy just were sucked into where the ball was, like bees to a honeypot.
It took them all to stop that man. Boller. Well, when you talk about physicality, watch this man on the ball. You just got to go low on this guy. Look at that first tackle, not a chance. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all there. And if you just look on the right-hand side of that, there are 4 or 5 players screaming for the ball.
It was Chris Budgeon who tried to get over for the Army from short range.
It's a ball, it's fine, it's attached.
Rush of blood to the head for the Army tight head. Greg Barden now just marshalling this driving maul forward. Technically, very good aspect of play. And they have made some 15 or so metres, more than that, 20. And they've got the penalty as well. That is brilliant work from the Navy. They're underneath their post, about to give a try away. Now they find themselves virtually on the halfway line with a penalty.
Wow, great experience and great skill from the Aussie Greg Barden, the 7. Didn't lose the attachment with the players in front of him, head up, looking to see where the trouble was. And at this moment in time, Navy really playing the smarter rugby. But here we see the big run, but look at this overlap. Maybe we get a view of it on the left-hand side. Pick and go is not the option here. Look, they're lining up there. You see Darren Ball, number 5 in his back. He fancies his try there.
The left, 2, advantage.
And again, the penalty comes. Barden runs into his own man. It's Dale Sleeman.
Okay. They've set
a real
up
constant in the midfield for the Navy.
Rolling walls, driving walls. Okay, you cannot have players coming collapsing it or lifting legs. That's 2 now. Okay, get your discipline. I will not have it more.
Melvin Lewis just being told by the referee legs cannot be lifted in a driving maul situation. Twice he's been warned about it now.
Well, it's the second time, and yeah, he's just clarifying it just in case there's some element of misunderstanding there. But the Navy, they're going for the corner. Hugely confident in their ability to convert from this distance.
And why not when you've just driven a driving maul some 25 metres forward, and the Army on their last warning. Need to catch the line out first, and they've done that.
Barden's in on that ball again.
This time it doesn't work out for the men in blue.
Still, it'll just come as a huge relief to them that they're deep in the Army 22 rather than scrambling for their lives on their own try line. Here we see, I think it's a little bit of obstruction, getting in front of the man.
Yeah, that's 2 kickable penalties. The man of Dave Pascoe's quality as a kicker that the Navy have turned down. Still 10-0. Will those 6 points, or possible 6 points, tell at the end of this game?
It's a big scrum from the Army. It really is an area that they've got the upper hand in. Chris Budgeon, the tight head with all the experience in there. But it's what's happening behind the scrum that really has been limiting the Army's ability to convert any sort of pressure into points.
It's strange, isn't it? Because the Army have had the nudge in the scrum, and the Navy's line-out's not been going particularly well. So, on first phase possession, it's all the Army, but they've hardly been out of their own half. Such is the desire from the Navy so far in this game.
And also the level of fitness in this Navy side was one of the key aspects that brought them through last year. It's a big, heavy Army pack, so moving them about the pitch over 80 minutes, you know, last year it worked in their favour. The Army pack slightly ran out of steam, and you know, if that's a formula for success, it's no wonder that the Navy are trying to employ it again this afternoon.
Well, Sean Cox is the conditioning coach for the Navy, former British deadlifting champion. Seen some great work conditioning these Navy players. Vakatini can't take it, and when he does take it, watch out. But at the moment, the Navy are keeping the speedster under wraps. Hat-trick on his debut in this fixture a couple of years ago now, Gus Vakatini.
Well, it's really good Navy defence here. 3 midfielders up as a line, and the winger just slightly behind, just allowing the Army just to pass the ball across the pitch, pushing them out. Again, Greg Barden is the 7. He's played in a host of positions in the backs, which means he can drift out from the back of that line out. Makes an extra defender.
Yeah, if we see that line out again, Greg Barden is the man taking the 10, which just allows all those outer backs just to push out, and that drift defence working quite brilliantly. Greg Barden, as you say, played in this fixture a few years ago as a centre. He's played as a winger as well.
Yes, he's just pushing out. He says, I'm taking the 10. Allows everybody to push out one position and puts the passing, puts the handling under pressure. And so far, the skills slightly have let down the Army. Composers let them down, and the Navy will be absolutely delighted with this 10-point cushion.
Greg Barden Played 7 in this fixture
Let him have the hit. Back.
last year. Raised a few eyebrows, that selection. Have been playing in the centres for so long for the Navy. But the decision by Garen Ashton-Jones is more than worked out for the director of rugby. Greg played in the centres in one fixture this season. People were asking why he wasn't playing at 7, so the decision that's come off for a rugby coach doesn't happen often, does it? Gittings.
Move away.
The doctor, rather the rudder in this Army midfield, but those outside Army backs just haven't had the possession so far in this opening half an hour.
Well, I think the Army side just has to play to its strengths a little bit more. Big physical pack. I think it needs to just concentrate in the scrum, concentrate in the line out, get the basics right. The big ball carriers suck in the Navy defence to then allow a little bit more space on the outside for the Army backs.
And it's a point worth making again, isn't it? The Army's dominance over the last decade. The Navy having won last year. The Army normally find themselves, and the Navy came back into the game last year. And the Army, so used to being ahead in this game, now they find themselves 10 points down. That psychological aspect of the game is absolutely huge for the next 50 minutes or so. How can the Army react? How does the Navy react to being in the lead here? Carry on doing what they're doing, I'm sure. Here's Apo Satala. Apo Satala! Well, that's how the Army react. But the referee wants to check here, does he? Apo Satala, a very lazy placing of the ball.
Well, what they did, they reverted back to the big ball carriers.
The grounding, please. I believe a try has been scored.
You just wondered how long it was going to take before one of those of Bola, Satala, Kaba. Ooh, well, the flag is slightly disguising that, but oh, I don't think that's a try. Certainly from that shot, I'm not sure, unless he's got fingertips on it. Oof. Well, if it's a fingertip, maybe a side profile might give us a better idea.
It's momentary downward pressure, isn't it? Think back to Danny Kerr, Thomond Park. Oof. It's a fingertip effort, wasn't it, from Danny Kerr last weekend in the Amling Challenge Cup semi-final. Satala, no need for it. Just dive over the line, just fall over. Well,
it's also, you know, well, I think maybe there are fingertips there, but a side image would be good. It's difficult, but it's a real lesson. Maybe. Oh, well, from that angle, the fingertips look as if they're coming down from behind the rugby ball. It's a big lesson for schoolboys all over the world. Carry the ball in 2 hands, get it down.
Who would be David Matthews, the television match official right now? Here's his decision, though. He's given it. He has given the try, and didn't the Army need that before half-time?
Well, Satala, he's a tried and tested performer. He certainly made life difficult for the referee and the TMO. But it's the power of the back row that's keeping the Army in this game, keeping them on the front foot, ability to break the gain line. Again, good dummy runner in the midfield there. Oof, it still looks dodgy from that angle. Oof.
You'd be pulling your hair out as his coach, wouldn't you? Cummings can't add the extras, remains at 10-5. Important try for the Army.
Well, they did butcher an opportunity when Bola took the ball up the middle of the pitch, so you know, maybe it's fair rewards for their efforts. But I think Satala's a bit of a lucky boy there.
The try's been given Tyrone. It's been given by the officials. It's on the scoreboard. Please let it go. But if there was going to be one man that could spark this Army side, Apo Satala, all that international experience. Remember, he's got 6 caps for Fiji, 1 as their captain. That was against Romania, November 2010.
But as soon as you look at these names on the team sheet, you look at Satala, you see Fiji, you think he's got to be big. Then you look in the backs and you see Kwasa Vakatini, you're thinking he's got to be fast. Now these guys that come from Fiji add so much value.
Wayne John, oh, it's a lovely dummy. He has sliced through the Army defence there. Needs support now. Gets it from McLaren. Mason. Sleeman, he does so much of the hard yards for this Navy side in the midfield, but it's been turned over. Here's Boller. Real ding-dong of a game, this, isn't it?
Push.
So competitive. Jack Prasad just has to wait for the pass. Now it's his turn to dummy. Now he has got the pace. Jack Prasad. Vance, oh, he's round the fullback. That is a brilliant individual score from Jack Prasad. No doubting whether he touched that one down or not. And the Army have been forced to be sparked into life here at Twickenham, and it is all level at 10 points apiece.
That is absolutely magnificent from Jack Prasad. What a break, scintillating pace. Again, it's just from the turnover as well. The Navy had done well, but just didn't protect the ball well enough. Little pass, and then backs himself through that gap on one-on-one. Wow. All that experience, the balance, the shift of the hips, and the pace took him through to under the post. Sensational stuff.
What a try. 2 tries in 2009, 1 last year, and now 1 this year for Jack Prasad. Fijian international, 9 caps. Played for Fiji 7s as well, and you saw that 7s pace there.
The Fijian influence really has come through in the last 5 minutes, and a completely different complexion now in this game.
Had to react, didn't they, the Army? And they have. And now they have the lead by 2 points, 12-10. 3 minutes ago, we were talking about how the Army would try and react to this start from the Navy.
And all of a sudden, you're seeing little mistakes creep into the Navy's game.
Nakamavutu shows his strength there just to hold up in the tackle. Joe Carver slips it inside to Chris Budgeon. He just slings it infield. Finds Carl Mason. One of Chris Budgeon's better passes, that.
Deflection. All on.
Pasco.
Just goes to show how dangerous this Army side is when the Navy makes little mistakes. That turnover just didn't protect the ball well enough.
It's almost get the ball out quickly, isn't it? And
move away.
try and get it to the quick guys out wide. Darryl Ball took it in there. Second row for the Army. Chris Budgeon again, fancying himself as an outside centre. No, it's 3 on your back, Chris, not 13.
Get out there. 7, leave it.
Wonderful servant for Army Rugby, Chris Budgeon.
What's that like?
The new contract next to the Chiefs, that's how much they value his services.
A big overlap out on the right if they can recycle it.
Ben Hughes, most capped serviceman of all time. Hughes. He's out wide, here's Boller. Boller had a man outside.
Release.
Just in one hand, and the Navy have turned it over.
Push back, guard.
Through Laird. 2-on-1, definitely for Boller there.
Well, it's been one-way traffic from the Army in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Back row at the core of it. Here we see ball up. You need the ball in 2 hands. That's the only way he's going to be able to get that ball away. Takes away the option of passing out of the contact there, but terrific cover defence from the Navy.
Find of the season for the Army.
Let's go.
Bloody. There's Bolla. There's Darryl Ball. Slade Jones. There goes Satala. Army sensing another score here before half-time. What would that do for their confidence? Ball. Very comfortable with ball in hand. There's Lewis.
Well, it would put a very emphatic gloss on the scoreboard by half-time if they could come away with another score here.
Dwyer, but it's a penalty to the Navy. Darryl Ball, number 5, off his feet.
Thank you.
Can't really complain about the action and drama of this first half. It's been an absolute cracker from both sides.
Don't want that again.
Yeah, it's Darryl Ball. He's flown back using some R&R time to play in this game, giving up his holidays to play in this game. He's back from Afghanistan this week to play in this fixture. That is the commitment that these players show to this fixture. And there's several players going back out on planes later tonight, early tomorrow morning, to join their ships wherever they may be. After the Navy ships have moved on from where the players think they're going to be stationed. Barden, Sleeman,
Went back.
Pascoe.
Careful, bring him down.
Big tackle on Dave Pascoe, wasn't it? Sends out a message. Llewellyn. Wayne John now an opportunity. Here's the try scorer. McRae slips it inside. So Vance. Army looking to turn this one over. Looks like they have. Ben Hughes is in there.
Move back, Blue.
32 caps for the Army. Those caps never awarded in the red of the Army shirt. Ben Hughes. Here's Barden. Navy have turned it over again. You just can't take your eye off this game. Sleeman offloads to McRae. He can't take it. Turned over again. Army scrum.
Go on.
A fascinating, intriguing first half we've had here, Tyrone.
Well, on the front cover of the programme, it says Army v Navy, Twickenham, then it says more than just a game. And you've got a sense of it in this opening first half. These guys putting their bodies on the line, physical, but also full of skill, very slick, very well organised. The Army, well, they got ahead in the opening quarter, took their chances very well, but the Army, my goodness, how they've worked their way back into this game. Big, powerful ball carriers, and just got their noses in front at half-time.
It was all the Navy. They came out of the trap so well, but the Army have come back. Fascinating second 40 minutes here in store at Twickenham. For half-time, it is 12 to the Army, 10 to the Navy.